Today, we are diving deep into the latest financial results from Cordlife, the cord blood banking giant. And let me tell you, on the surface, it looks like this incredible comeback story. But as we're about to see, those big, flashy numbers are hiding a much, much more complicated reality. So the first thing you see is this huge number, 49.1%. Wow, right? That's how much Cordlife managed to slash its net loss in just the first 9 months of the year. I mean, think about it. They went from a loss of nearly $14 million all the way down to just $7 million. That's cutting your losses almost in half. On paper, that looks like an absolutely incredible turnaround. But you have to ask the question, right? Is this number telling us the whole story? Is this a genuine, honest-to-goodness recovery? Or is there something else going on under the hood? Well, that's what we're here to find out. So here's our game plan. We'll start with that surprising rebound, then we'll really unpack the numbers to see what's actually happening. From there, we'll connect the dots to the crisis with their storage tanks, the massive threat of a year-long suspension, and finally, we'll ask, what could possibly be next for Cordlife? All right, let's get right into it. To really understand what's going on, we have to peel back the layers of that headline number and figure out where the money is actually coming from. So at first glance, these are the official numbers Cordlife put out, and they look amazing. You've got revenue up more than 52%, gross profit, it's exploded by a whopping 130%. If this was all you saw, you'd be thinking this company is absolutely crushing it. But, and this is a big but, here's the catch. This massive jump in performance, it's not from a huge boom in sales. It's actually, well, it's kind of an accounting quirk. You see, back in 2024, Cordlife had this one-time revenue reversal of $9.7 million. That was all tied to customer refunds from their initial crisis. This year, that reversal was just a tiny $0.2 million. So the key here is that last year's numbers were artificially pushed way down, which makes this year's growth look way bigger than it really is. And this slide right here tells the real story. Once we adjust for those reversals to get a proper apples-to-apples comparison, the whole narrative just falls apart. Adjusted revenue in 2024 was $29 million, and this year it's $29.6 million. So that explosive 52% growth, poof, it vanishes, leaving behind just a 2.1% increase. The business, folks, is basically flat. So you're probably wondering, what caused that huge reversal last year? And why is the business struggling so much to grow? Well, the answer to both of those questions lies in the operational nightmare at the very heart of the company. Now, this didn't just happen overnight. This timeline shows the whole saga. It all kicked off in late 2023 when Singapore's Ministry of Health, the MOH, found serious temperature problems in Cordlife storage tanks. That led to a 6-month suspension. They were allowed to resume operations, first partially and then fully, only for the MOH to drop another bombshell in September 2025. A notice of an intended 1-year suspension because of brand new problems. And this brings us to right now, the single biggest threat Cordlife has ever faced. This is a challenge that could seriously threaten its ability to even exist in its home market. And just look at what the MOH is demanding. This is not just a, hey, take a time out. This is a complete top-to-bottom overhaul. They have to replace key people, review every single cord blood unit, and all lab work since January, retrain their entire lab staff, and put a whole new supervisory system in place. These are serious, costly, and deeply intrusive measures. It tells you that the regulators believe there are systemic failures here. You know, a crisis this deep naturally raises a huge question about whether the company can even survive long-term. And that brings us to this important accounting term, going concern. It basically means, can a business pay its bills for the next 12 months? Now, Cordlife's board says, for now, they believe they can. But, and this is critical, they've also put out a major warning about significant uncertainties that could really challenge that belief. So let's recap. We've got stagnant growth, a reputation that's in tatters, and regulators demanding a complete reset. So where does the company even go from here? Publicly, of course, the company is trying to project confidence. The group's CEO is on the record saying they are totally focused on restoring trust and proving their commitment to safety and accountability. That's the official line for clients and investors. But behind closed doors, behind that public statement, the reality is much bleaker. The company itself is forecasting a material reduction in new customers in Singapore. That is a direct admission that the trust they're talking about rebuilding has been shattered, and it's going to hit their bottom line hard. When you put it all together, the misleading financials, the regulatory crackdown, the absolute collapse of public trust, it all boils down to one single critical question for the company, for its investors, and for the thousands of families who put their faith in them. So, with its main license to operate hanging by a thread and its reputation in pieces, can Cordlife actually navigate this storm and survive the next 12 months? Honestly, right now, that's the only question that really matters.